Ducati's internal feud over who Ducati will defend to become world champion, the tough choice between Bagnaia and Martin, and stopping technical support for Martin. Marc Marquez's response to the feud and Ducati's increasingly difficult challenges. Jorge Martin motivated to show that Ducati made the wrong choice. Let's discuss. Watch until the end. The 2024 MotoGP season has reached a critical juncture with an intense rivalry between the top riders. Jorge Martin, Francesco Bagnaia, Marc Marquez and Enea Bastianini are at the forefront of the battle for the World Championship, and the competition is only growing fiercer. One of the biggest talking points this season is how Ducati, as a factory team, is managing its two top stars, Bagnaia and Martin, both of whom are locked in a tight race in the standings. Ducati has a long and storied history in MotoGP, but the challenges they face this season are unique. They're grappling with tough decisions regarding the technical support they provide to each rider, which could ultimately impact their chances of securing the championship. Jorge Martin has delivered an outstanding performance throughout the 2024 season. His consistency and speed on the track have made him a strong contender for the world title. However, behind the scenes, rumors have emerged suggesting that Ducati has begun reducing its technical support for Martin. This decision is seen as controversial, especially considering Martin's highly competitive position in the championship. There's speculation that Ducati may be prioritizing its reigning champion, Francesco Bagnaia. Ducati's decision to cut back technical support for Martin has sparked speculation among MotoGP analysts. As one of the biggest factory teams, Ducati is expected to support both its riders equally. However, if this decision proves true, Martin could lose critical momentum at a pivotal point in the title race. Marc Marquez, now racing for Gresini Racing after his move from Repsol Honda, shared his thoughts on Jorge Martin's situation at Ducati. In a recent interview, Marquez expressed that Martin has the potential to become a world champion, but internal pressure within Ducati could become a serious obstacle. Jorge is an incredibly fast rider, and he's shown that he can compete with the best, Marquez said, but I think he needs full support from his team. According to Marquez, when a rider is in contention for a world title, the backing of the team becomes a crucial factor. If there's internal tension or decisions that hinder performance, it can heavily affect a rider's mentality on the track, Marquez added. As a factory team, Ducati faces a massive responsibility in handling the internal competition between Bagnaia and Martin. Bagnaia, as the defending champion, naturally garners more attention from the team, but Martin's brilliant performance this season cannot be ignored. MotoGP analysts believe that the decision to focus on Bagnaia could damage Ducati's chances of winning the title with either of its two highly competitive riders. One MotoGP analyst remarked, "If Ducati truly stops providing technical support to Martin, they could lose a golden opportunity to win the championship with both riders." Managing two top-tier riders is challenging, but it's a responsibility that comes with being a factory team. As the 2024 MotoGP season nears its conclusion, Ducati faces a significant challenge. They must find a way to support both Bagnaia and Martin, while avoiding internal conflicts that could hurt the team. If Ducati fails to manage this situation well, they risk losing the World Championship, whether through Bagnaia or Martin. Marc Marquez and MotoGP analysts agree that how Ducati handles this scenario will be key to their success this season. Ducati has to support both of their riders fairly, if not they could miss a golden chance to dominate this season, said one analyst. Jorge Martin's drive to succeed in MotoGP goes beyond just winning races. It's also about proving a point to Ducati, the team that ultimately passed on him for their factory ride. Martin was once considered a front-runner for the 2025 official Ducati seat, and many believed he was destined to get the call-up. That was until Marc Marquez entered the picture, reportedly making it clear that he wouldn't ride for Pramac, Ducati's satellite team. With this ultimatum hanging over their heads, Ducati made a bold move and signed Marquez, leaving Martin to find a new path. Now Martin has secured a ride with Aprilia for next season, a move that has stirred up intrigue and anticipation. Despite the disappointment of being overlooked by Ducati, Martin remains laser-focused on proving them wrong. Pramac Racing team owner Paolo Campinotti, who has worked closely with Martin, expressed admiration for the rider's resolve. He comes off as having a strong personality, but he's genuinely a sweet, down-to-earth guy, a very nice person who's always been dedicated to his craft, Campinotti shared in an interview with TNT Sports. But now he's even more motivated to show Ducati they made a mistake by choosing Marquez over him. Martin's current performance in the MotoGP Championship suggests that he might just do that. Heading into the latter part of the season, Martin holds the championship lead by a narrow margin, just 7 points ahead of reigning champion Pecco Bagnaia and 53 points clear of Marc Marquez. With the title fight heating up, there's a real possibility that Martin could claim the number one plate and, in a twist of irony, carry it over to Ducati's rival, Aprilia, for next season. His recent victory in the Misano sprint race was a statement win, reinforcing his championship credentials and building momentum as the season nears its climax. After struggling to win in recent races, this victory marked a significant moment for Martin, especially with the Misano circuit being one of Bagnaia's home tracks. It was critical, Campinotti admitted. Jorge had been consistently fast, but he hadn't managed to secure a win in the last few rounds. This race was a confidence booster, showing both himself and everyone else that he's still a top contender. The psychological aspect of this win cannot be overstated, particularly considering Bagnaia's connection to the Misano track. As TNT Sports analyst Neil Hodgson pointed out, this is Pecco's home turf. He practically lives at this track and knows it inside out. Everyone expected him to dominate, especially since he had the pole position and impressive race pace. He was the clear favourite. Yet, Martin turned the tables in a commanding fashion. He dismantled Bagnaia, Hodgson continued. Jorge grabbed the lead right off the start and managed the race from there. Honestly, it was a bit of a boring race, but only because Martin was so flawless. What stood out to observers was Martin's sheer precision. Hodgson, a former rider himself, remarked on Martin's ability to break deep into corners and maintain an aggressive pace throughout. I saw someone riding like a world champion. The way he controlled that race, it was championship material. As the MotoGP season races toward its conclusion, all eyes will be on Martin. With his current lead in the standings and his recent form, he could be on the verge of not only securing his first world championship, but also delivering a powerful message to Ducati. Should he win, it would be a striking moment of vindication, proving that Ducati's decision to bring in Marquez may have come at the cost of overlooking a future champion. Hey MotoGP fans, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest action.